One moment I'm standing in our dining room, dishes scattered on the table. The next, my own father's fist crashes into my face, blood pouring from my nose. My scream echoes, but he snarls. Scream more, and I'll hit harder. He thought. He could break me and walk away. He was wrong. Stick around. This is the story of how I turned his guilt into my victory. Hey, everyone, if you've ever been betrayed by someone you trusted and dreamed of serving them the karma they deserve, you're in the right place. These Reddit revenge stories are all about justice hitting where it hurts. Smash that like button if you're ready for some raw payback. Subscribe for more tales of sweet karma, and let's dive into this one. It's a gut punch. You won't forget at 15, I thought I'd finally found peace with my family. Growing up wasn't easy 2 years ago. I was drowning in grudges against my parents, battling dark thoughts that kept me up at night, staring at the ceiling. Heart heavy, but last year something shifted. We started talking, really talking. Dad would ruffle my hair, crack corny jokes over breakfast, the smell of burnt toast filling the kitchen. Mom would listen to my school stories, her laughter. Warm like summer sun, I felt like I belonged, like we were building something real. It was a random Tuesday evening, the kind where the house hums with routine plates. Clinking TV, murmuring in the background. I'd forgotten to clear the dining table after dinner, a simple mistake. Dad's voice cut through the air, sharp and venomous. Lazy, useless. He spat his words like knives. I froze, dishes in hand, my pulse quickening. I'd heard him yell before, but this felt different, darker. His face, twisted eyes, narrow with rage. Not the father who'd hugged me last week, but a stranger wearing his skin. His verbal attacks didn't stop. You're a disgrace. He shouted, pacing the dining room, his heavy footsteps thudding. Like a drumbeat of dread, I stood still, my hands trembling, the weight of his words pressing against my chest. I wanted to vanish, to melt into the floorboards. Then in a blur, he sprinted toward me, his fist connected with my nose, a sickening crunch like a branch, snapping blood, gushed instantly warm and metallic, dripping onto the hardwood in thick red splatters. My vision blurred, pain radiating through my skull. I screamed, a raw primal sound tearing from my throat, his response. A sneer cold as ice. Scream even more and I'll beat you harder. My knees buckled, shock numbing my body. The dining room smelled of blood and leftover casserole, a nauseating mix. My mind spun. My own father did this. He saw the bloody floor, his expression flickering, not remorse but annoyance. He grabbed an ice pack from the fridge, tossing it at me. Tilt your head up. He barked. I couldn't move, still processing the betrayal, so he yanked my hair, forcing my head back, the sting sharp against my scalp. My nose throbbed, my left eye swelling shut, a bruise blooming like a dark flower. Next day, he drove me to the doctor, his face soft and eyes red-rimmed. In the car, he mumbled, "I'm sorry." Single tear streaking down his cheek. For a fleeting moment, I thought maybe he meant it. Maybe this was the dad I'd started to trust again, the one who'd promised to change. False hope warmed my chest, fragile as glass. But at the doctor's office, when asked how I got a fractured nose and bruised eye, he lied smoothly. She bumped into a door. My stomach churned. His apology was hollow, a performance. The betrayal cut deeper than the punch back home. Life resumed like nothing happened. Mom chatted over dinner. Dad cracked jokes, but I couldn't shake the image of his fist, the sound of my own scream. Every glance in the mirror, my swollen eye, the bandage across my nose, screamed the truth. My father did this. The hurt hardened into something else, a burning need for justice. That night, staring at my reflection, the bruise pulsing under the bathroom's harsh light, I hit my limit. Powerlessness had ruled me long enough. Through his yelling, his punch, his lies, no more. I couldn't fight him physically. He was too strong, telling Mom. She'd downplay it like always, but I wasn't helpless. A spark ignited in my mind, a way to make him feel the weight of what he'd done without him. Even knowing revenge had to be subtle, personal mine, I'd expose his hypocrisy, not with fists, but with truth. Idea came the next morning, watching him sip coffee, acting like the perfect dad. He prided himself on his reputation, Mr. Reliable, the guy who never broke a sweat. I'd seen him charm neighbors, brag about our happy family at church. That was my target, his image. I'd write a letter, anonymous but detailed, to the community center where he volunteered. As a youth coach, it wouldn't accuse outright, just hint at his temper, his private side enough to plant doubts. The plan felt thrilling, but risky. I'd sneak onto his laptop to type it password, his birth year, lazy as always, late. At night, the house silent, except for the hum of the fridge. I'd creep downstairs, heart pounding like a drum. The keyboard's soft clicks would echo in my ears, each word a step closer to justice. Doubts gnawed. What if they trace it back? What if he finds out? But the memory of blood dripping, of his cold threat, fueled me. I print the letter at school, mail it from a public box. No trace I drafted in my head. You think you know him, but behind closed doors, he's not the man you see. Short, vague damning. I imagine the center's staff whispering his reputation, fraying at the edges. Fear of confrontation battled my resolve, but the bruise on my face tipped the scale. This was for me, for the girl who screamed and got no justice. Midnight house, dark. I slipped downstairs, bare feet cold on the floor. Laptop on password. Typed letter written, heart racing. Printed at school, hands shaking. Mailed by dusk envelope, sealed. No turning back. Each step felt like diffusing a bomb. One wrong move and I'd pay. But I did it. The letter was out, carrying my truth into the world. Weeks later, the fallout hit. Whispers spread at the community center, parents giving dad side-eye, coaches asking pointed questions. Everything okay at home? They'd say, voices laced with doubt. His face flushed at a meeting, stammering excuses, his charm cracking like thin ice. He never knew I sent the letter, but I saw it, the panic in his eyes, the humiliation of being questioned. He'd lied to cover his violence. Now his lies were unraveling. I stood taller, my bruise fading, but my resolve ironclad. Relief flooded me, mixed with a strange sadness. He was still my dad, but I'd taken back power. Made him feel the weight of his actions. Justice wasn't loud. It was a quiet letter shifting the world just enough to make him squirm. This wasn't about destroying him. It was about reclaiming my voice. Karma doesn't always scream. Sometimes it's a whisper that echoes louder than a punch. I looked in the mirror and saw not just a bruise, but a survivor who fought back. Whoa, that story hit hard, right? If this tale of quiet revenge gave you chills, smash that like button and drop in the comments. What's the most satisfying karma you've ever witnessed? Subscribe for more Reddit stories where justice steals the show. Hit that bell so you never miss out, and I'll catch you in the next one. Stay fierce, friends.